ladies and gents, welcome back to my channel. Sincerely, thank you for coming back. It feels really good but really weird to be doing this again, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the 2022 Oscar predictions, November edition. Now most of the films that are going to be playing at this award season have been shown. It's going to be a lot easier now to make the predictions, which is why I'm doing them now. The only films we've got left to see are, the only big one I can think of actually now is West Side Story, because even all the ones that haven't had official releases yet, or maybe haven't even had a review embargo lifted yet, they've been seen and I've personally heard their reactions on how well I think they're going to do. So I'm just going to throw us all right into it, as usual, with Best Picture. Now, I have Belfast at number one, yes, there is a very good case to be made that Belfast can win Best Picture. Absolutely. You know, and the People's Choice Award at TIFF is a really strong indicator for what's going to go on to win Best Picture at the Oscars. Just think of Green Book, Nomadland, and even winners that weren't necessarily winners for Best Picture, even got nominated at the Oscars like Jojo Rabbit. It's a really strong indicator. Tied with the fact that it's getting rave reviews. I'm hearing it's beautifully written, directed. It's Kenneth Branagh's time. Still, the thing is, we've got a lot of strong competition coming, and as we all know, to win Best Picture, you usually need to win Best Director or one of the Screenplay Awards. I'm not really feeling that with Belfast that strongly. It definitely could, it's not impossible, but I don't think it's a guarantee in either. I have it at number one anyway, because it seems now the most likely to win Best Picture in itself, but I can easily see it changing. And my number two is Dune, because I think if there's going to be any other film that could win Best Picture, it's either my number 2, 3, maybe 4. The reason I say that is because I feel like the case for Dune winning Best Picture would be because it's kind of like the voters' way of showing we want cinema, we want big movies, we want to keep this big theatrical feeling going. Timing the fact Dune's fucking awesome, it's well written, well directed, it's a beautiful film technically. Dune is amazing. It's going to pick up a shit ton of technical awards. It could win Best Director, and at that point, it's not too far off Best Picture. Licorice Pizza's PTA's latest film, I'm hearing incredible things about it. It comes out on Friday in the US, and I'm so jealous I don't get to see it till the 7th of January in the UK, because I want to see it so badly. But it's PTA's an 8-time nominee, no-time winner, and recently with a nomination in Director and Phantom Thread getting a Best Picture nomination, it shows that he's quite loved and respected by the Academy, and if there's going to be a time, it will be now, I think, because Licorice Pizza's, I'm hearing, is one of his best films. It's his most personal and his most accessible and warm film. So yeah, who's to say it couldn't win? Then we have King Richard, which is the last one that I think has a possibility of winning Best Picture. I've seen King Richard. I got to see it in early access screening. That's a rare one for me in the UK. But it's absolutely just adored by people. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, feel good bullshit. It's not going to make it, even though I really liked it for the record. But no, it's loved. It's got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes for critics and 99% for audience. That's one of the best scores I've seen all this award season. So yeah, at this point, I can't really sensibly say King Richard couldn't win Best Picture. Nightmare Alley, Don't Look, I'm the Power of the Dog seem like very sturdy nominations. Like, obviously they're not guaranteed by any means, but they seem likely at this point. Number 8's being The Ricardos, which Aaron Sorkin. You can never really underestimate Aaron Sorkin when it comes to award season. Initially, I didn't really think much of this film, but then when reactions came out and people were saying it's amazing, a lot of people saying it's better than Trial of Chicago 7, I was like, hell yeah, I'll put it in my top 10. Number 9's West Side Story, because if it's anywhere near as good as it looks, and yeah, I can't imagine it won't get into Best Picture. Spielberg seems to have a really easy time getting into Best Picture. And then my number 10 is Mass, which is kind of like maybe the Sound of Metal nomination of this year, where if people actually see it and see how amazing it is, it'll get in, because it really should. Mass is incredible. Best Director, my number 1 is Denis Villeneuve for Dune. I know that a lot of you may disagree, because I know a lot of people are feeling Kenneth Branagh, but hear me out. Dune is the technical achievement of just the year, maybe the decade. It looks, feels so grand and amazing. You really just can't believe you're watching this just true epic. It's Lord of the Rings level, and what won Best Director for a grand epic? Yeah, the last Lord of the Rings film, Peter Jackson. So I think I'm absolutely justified putting it number 1 for now. Kenneth Branagh could definitely win, because out of Screenplay and Director, Belfast seems like it could be more likely to win Director, and if it's got a path to Best Picture, then be Director, which is why I'm not feeling too confident Belfast will win Best Picture. Yeah, I've got my number 1 for now, but do I feel it being Best Director, Best Screenplay? I haven't seen it myself, because I bloody can't. But if I certainly see it myself before I can say that, but from what I've heard and the feeling I'm getting from it, I'm not too sure. Number 3 and number 4 are Jane Campion and Tom Paul Thomas Anderson, which are fairly explainable. And then my number 5 is actually Julia Ducournau for Titan. Look, every year so far, there has been a Best Director nomination in international feature film. Think about when the director of Cold War get in, when Thomas Vinterberg just this year surprising for another round. They do this because the director's branch is filled to the brim of international directors who like to see at least one get nominated. And what's the best reviewed film in terms of its directing that's come out this year by critics? It might be Titan, and if we're gonna see one get in, I think it will be Julia Ducournau. I don't want to like make any guarantees, and I know this is a bit risky, but you know what, I'm happy to do it. Next in line for Best Director is Guillermo del Toro. I feel like really risky doing this, as obviously he won for his last film, and we don't know. We haven't seen. Oh, Nightmare Alley is actually another one we haven't seen yet. But I feel like the fact it hasn't played at festivals is really going to hurt his chances. Played by the fact it hasn't really built as much hype as you'd hope it would, but still, it's Guillermo del Toro. You can't underestimate him, and Nightmare Alley does look incredible. I'm really excited for it. And then number 7 is actually Lin-Manuel Miranda for Tick Tick Boom. I did not think much of this film at all until like literally about a week ago when reactions came out for it, and then I saw it myself, and it is incredible. And Lin-Manuel Miranda has a hell of a vision, and he did an amazing job directing that film. I'm honestly amazed at how good it is and how good his direction is. Bearing in mind it's his directorial debut, it had nothing to do with the script. The fact is, as good as it is, honestly, I just want to give him a standing ovation, and I honestly would say he deserves to get in. Best Actress, my number 1 is actually Jessica Chastain. I know everyone's saying Kirsten Stewart, and she absolutely can win. My reason for putting Jessica Chastain at number 1 is that she's a lot more kind of viewed as overdue than Kristen Stewart is. Not only that though, Kristen Stewart had some things to say about the Oscars lately, and yes, taking out of context sounds a lot worse, but even still, her attitude towards the Academy didn't feel very respectable, I guess you could say, and that's absolutely her fine, that's her opinion, but it definitely maybe not help her. And when you think Jessica Chastain is campaigning herself, she has the showy role of the year. People have done less on Oscars than what she does in the Eyes of Tammy Faye, and honestly, I wouldn't say it's not deserved. I think that the Golden Globes will be a real, because obviously, the Golden Globes are going ahead this year. I made a video this year saying they're not, and then look at that. So yeah, we got the Golden Globes this year, and the Golden Globes may show her love, because I feel like she's gonna win there. And then I think SAG, and especially because BAFTA are insanely good at predicting Best Actress. If she can win BAFTA, oh my god, she has won Best Actress. Number 3 is Nicole Kidman for being the Ricardo, because I just haven't heard people stop talking about that performance. Lady Gaga for House of Gucci, because despite the fact the reviews are poor, people are saying she's stellar and stands out, so I don't think she's out of the race yet. And then my number 5 is Alana Haim for Licorice Pizza, because if it is as strong as Awards Ken does, I think it will be. I feel like we'll get one acting nomination. Bradley Cooper isn't in the film as much as we would hope, so I have a feeling it might be her. And then, oh my god, I feel like any of these 4 other women who are in my next in line could win, and I'm really struggling with it. Because Olivia Colman, Jennifer Hudson, Penelope Cruz, and Frances McDormand are all getting like stellar reviews. People saying it's some of their best work for all of them. I don't know what to do, but they're all my next in line. I feel like both actress categories this year are just going to be insane, and I'm so excited for it. Best Actor. Will Smith is probably winning, and I think that's a guarantee. He is having a year. He's got this, a Netflix special, a memoir that's come out. He's trying to make 2021 his year, and honestly, it's working. And at this rate, I'm fairly certain he's going to win Best Actor. Something interesting to say, there's only been 20 Best Actor nominees who have been in a musical, so we could have 2 more added this year with Andrew Garfield and Peter Dinklage. Andrew Garfield, I'm fairly confident will get in. Peter Dinklage, I'm a little bit more skeptical, because people are saying he's great, but the film's a bit shit, so I guess we'll have to see how that works. But then, acting nominations in shit films aren't unheard of at all. Just think about this year when we had Andra Day and the United States vs. Bill Holiday potentially even winning that category. So I'm not going to rule him out for that alone. But I did have him as a number 2, but I've had to knock him down a couple spots for that reason. Best Supporting Actress. I love this category. It's just so up in the air, and I can see literally any of these 5 women on your screen winning. And I feel like it will be a very similar race to what we had this year with leading actress. But I think the person with the best case is Dunst. She's a well-respected actress. She's having a comeback. She's known for Spider-Man to Melancholia. So now to kind of not act in the film for about 4 years now, and then to come back and do such a kind of silent and subtle film like The Power of the Dog, there's this sort of sentimental value to it, which I feel like people will really appreciate and connect with. So she's my number 1 for now. Obviously, Anne Dowd in Mass is absolutely incredible. She would have my vote 100%. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen. She should be winning this category, and I feel like if people see it, they will appreciate she's great, and they'll award her, because she I don't understand how you can't just say that this isn't just the winner. It's like when everyone saw Anthony Hopkins in The Father and they're like, this is just winning Best Actor. Yeah, it's competition, but he still won in the end. Then obviously there's Katrina Balfe, who's many people's number one, and I can kind of see the point, but I haven't seen Belfast, so I'm just kind of having her there because everyone else is kind of having her around in their top five, so I feel like I should have her there too. Wajane Ellis, I'm really sorry if I said your name wrong. For King Richard, she has a stealer scene alone, which honestly deserves her a nomination. She stands neck and neck with Will Smith in this film where Will Smith could win an Oscar. And then Meryl Streep for Don't Look Up, who, you know, we all know the Academy love Meryl Streep. And I've heard from people who've seen Don't Look Up that she's in it enough to the point where she could get nominated. Not only that, though, she's doing kind of a comedy role. I feel like she could be like Sam Rockwell in Vice, which just kind of this like very kind of outlandish, funny, silly role. Not everybody loves it, but enough people are taken aback by it where she gets a nomination. Best Supporting Actor is just driving me insane because I don't know. There doesn't really seem to be like one actor who's kind of really taken the hype. Obviously, my number one is Bradley Cooper, but I just don't think he's winning, to be honest, but I don't know how to put there because no actor has really kind of stolen the race and made everyone go like, yep, they're winning. So honestly, just look at my list and take it as you will, because Jared Leto could win because he has like the very kind of like showy, heavy makeup role, but then the reviews came out for House of Gucci and I think maybe not. Ciarán Hinds for Belfast, where people say he's not in it much. Jesse Plemons and Power the Dog, he don't do much. And then there's Jamie Dornan for Belfast, so many say will just get a nomination, not win. I'm just clueless. It's driving me insane. I don't know what to do with this category, and I'm really excited for when we start getting nominations at Critics' Choice, Golden Globes, so we can really kind of clear these things up a little bit, because I'm having the hell of a time with Best Supporting Actor. Best Adapted Screenplay. So honestly, Netflix could end up dominating this category. I already have 2 of their movies in my top 5, but there's still room for The Passing, The Lost Daughter to make it in. So Netflix could have 4 adapted screenplay nominees and then only 1 other studio could have it in. And then that looks really good for Netflix because Netflix have actually kind of really weirdly kind of, I don't want to say struggled at the Oscars, but not done as well as they'd like to. They still haven't got a Best Picture winner even when they've come close. So to dominate like this would just be amazing for them, and it'd be a good ego boost for Netflix. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me for having Dune at my number 5 because it's just, you know, more of a technical film than it is a written film. One, I kind of disagree. I think there's more to Dune than just that, especially considering the fact it's adapted screenplay and what they took from the film and the book. I think is really quite special. Not only that though, but putting that aside, every time there's a Best Picture frontrunner, it usually gets in Best Screenplay. Just think about when 1917 got in and we all flipped out. Why'd they get into Best Screenplay? Because people loved it, and when people love it, they were just nominating Screenplay, because Screenplay is a love award. And then Best Original Screenplay, I have Licorice Pizza my number 1. Another reason why I'm hesitant about Belfast winning Best Picture, because I don't have it as my number 1 for Best Director, down as my number 1 for Best Screenplay, and it really needs to be winning one of them. And honestly, I could see Belfast maybe being like Trial of Chicago 7, where it's number 1 for a while, but then it just doesn't win any Oscars in the end, because I don't think there's any guarantee for it anywhere. There's not like one category where it's like, you know, oh my god, this is winning. Like, it's just not like that this year. Licorice Pizza is my number 1 though, because I feel like if PTA is going to win an Oscar, it will be for screenplays. He's more respected for his screenwriting than he is directing. Not to say his directing isn't phenomenal, but you know, it's a heartwarming film. And like I say, when the Academy love a film, usually the place they award it just for their love of the film alone is in screenplay. Because screenplay, like I say, is a love award. It's where Jojo Rabbit won. It's where Parasite won. It's their way of showing that even if they can't award a film in a particular category necessarily, it doesn't mean they don't love the film for what it is. King Richard number 3, as obviously you know, it's a Best Picture frontrunner, so you can't have outside of screenplay. And my number 5 is Don't Look Up, as honestly, I just can't see how Adam McKay doesn't get in at this point. He's just loved by the Academy. Clearly, he was nominated for director and screenplay for Big Short and Vice when people thought he wouldn't get in for the director for Vice. So I'm not counting him out at this rate. Best cinematography is Dune, and I can't really see that changing. I have seen most of these other nominees here that I've got written down, but I think Dune's winning. It's the grand film of the year. It looks beautiful. Like the scene in it with the worm, where it's just like that massive landscape and it's there. It's like, whoa. I love that scene. So Dune's my number 1 for sure. My number 1 for best editing is also Dune, but I've got Don't Look Up at number 2, and I feel like it could steal its thunder because the Academy have shown time and time again that the film they like to award best editing is the one where it's kind of the most flashy and you can really tell that it's edited. The film that's got like an energy to it, which is why they gave Bohemian Rhapsody it, why they gave Ford vs Ferrari best editing. This year was actually really special, where they actually went different and gave it Sound of Metal, which was just an amazing achievement. And then I don't know, this year they could do it again, Don't Look Up, because Anna Kay likes to make these like kind of like very aggressive, in your face, here I'm telling you this. And the way that he does that is through his writing and also through his editing. I absolutely love the use of editing in The Big Short. I know people took an issue with it in Vice, but I loved it in Vice, and I feel like Don't Look Up's kind of going to follow a very similar pathway. Number 3 is Belfast, is obviously it's the best picture front runner, so you got to have it there. And then my number 5 is Tick Tick Boom, because that has like a very specific use of editing that really helps tell the story, and it kind of goes in with the soundtrack and the music really well. And at that point, you know, when a film uses editing well, whenever a film does a really good job at doing something, even if it doesn't have the best case to make for the Oscars, you kind of got to have it in the category, because if it is that good, you can't count it out. Best production design is Dune, and I honestly can't really see that changing, because I'm looking at these other nominees and I feel like the only one that could win is Nightmare Alley, because that looks like it has incredible production design. Like there's that bit in it with the trailer where I think it's Bradley Cooper's character's in like kind of that spiral and there's like eyeballs all over it. It looks amazing. So usually when there's one big technical film that starts taking all the tech awards, it usually also takes production design. Just think about Mad Max Fury Road. Because I'm just looking at the rest, and The Tragedy of Macbeth, yeah, it could definitely get nominated, but it's very minimalist production design. I don't know if they're going to appreciate that. The French Dispatch actually could spike, but because I just don't see that doing very well in the award season at all at this rate, I can't really see it then all of a sudden, like, despite the fact Grand Budapest Hotel won this category, I can't all of a sudden seeing this just taking the thunder, but it could do. And then my number 5 is Belfast, because I feel like it could be similar to Roma, where it's got kind of like the production design at first isn't very noticeable, but then when you really look at it and you think about it and you think about how it tells the story, how personal it is, it actually really adds to the film. Best costume design, my number 1's Cruella, and I feel like I should explain myself, as I know a lot of people would have Dune or Spencer or maybe even House of Gucci as number 1. So Cruella is all about costumes and kind of how these two costume designers are really aggressively competing with each other. 1, the Academy loved that. Think about Phantom Thread. 2, I'm sorry, if there's any film that does costume design, it is Cruella. The costumes in Cruella are great for a reason, because they're meant to be great for a reason, as it's meant to show how talented these costume designers are in terms of the film. And they're so good. Like a dress like setting on fire, and then there's something else. Like, yeah, I know that's not the costume, that's VFX, but obviously the costume designer had to come up with that idea of like that type of costume in order to create it. I just love the costume design in Cruella, and this is coming from somebody who wasn't even a massive fan of the film, but I could just watch it on mute just for the costume. So I know my bias is getting in the way here, but I'm going to put Cruella at number 1. Best makeup and hairstyling, I have The Eyes of Tammy Faye, because I'm sorry if you see Jessica Chastain in that film, you know, just cheeks coming out to here. They literally transformed her and Andrew Garfield into their respective characters. Yes, I agree, sometimes it gets a bit too much, but it kind of worked for me. It didn't distract me from the film. Like, yeah, I guess afterwards I'm thinking about it and like watching it and looking at photos, I mean, yeah, they kind of overdid it a bit, but it didn't bother me none. So yeah, I'm happy to kind of go with I'm happy to follow the crowd and say The Eyes of Tammy Faye is probably winning Best Makeup. Dune could also win because of Stellan Skarsgård, Dave Bautista alone, because their characters do look incredible. It would be more kind of like a Suicide Squad-ish win, but I can definitely see it happening. House of Gucci for Jared Leto could also win, and honestly, I don't think Nightmare Alley is too far-fetched to win. I feel like this is an aggressive 4-horse race, but because Eyes of Tammy Faye is the most transformative and the most prosthetics, I'm going to give that the edge. The thing is, I've got my Suicide Squad at my number 6 in the next in line. Just because it won once, it doesn't mean it's going to happen again. You got to remember that was the year Deadpool got snubbed, and they kind of fucked themselves over in terms of they didn't really have much else they could nominate. And like the thing is, that film had a lot more makeup in it, whilst this film, yeah, you got Harley Quinn, but apart from that, and then obviously the polka dot guy, but apart from that, most of that's VFX. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not with people who think it's going to happen again. Best visual effects is Dune versus Godzilla versus Kong, and I think it's going to stay like that. Matrix Resurrection, I think, is very sturdily also in here because all the other Matrix films got nominated in Best Visual Effects. Don't Look Up is my number 4 because any kind of Best Picture frontrunner that could be competing in visual effects usually gets in. And then my number 5 is Free Guy, because I feel like Free Guy could also, because I feel like my number 5 could be Free Guy, Ghostbusters Afterlife, or Spider-Man No Way Home. So I've kind of just satisfied my own ego a bit and gone with the film I'd like to get in most, because I really like Free Guy. Best original score is Dune. Do I have to argue with anybody? Hans Zimmer is winning a second Oscar. With this and No Time to Die, he's having one hell of a year. I'm so happy for this man. He is so talented and deserves everything that comes his way. Spencer would actually be my choice for best original score, though, because Spencer is actually my favorite film of this year so far, and I adored that score. I thought the way it told the story, the way it kind of showed Princess Diana's mental health was incredible. Don't Look Up's number 3 because Nicholas Britell, who's clearly respected by the Academy, nominated for Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk. Criminally didn't win when he could have done, but we'll let that slide. But yeah, I've heard people rave about Don't Look Up's score, so I'm happy to have him at number 3. And then the French Dispatch. the French Dispatch, because Alexander Desplat never seems to get snubbed when he does a score for a Wes Anderson film. Even I Love Dogs got him for best original score, so I'm not going to say he's going to stop now. Best original song, I've got Be Alive from King Richard, because that song is the song that we leave King Richard on. They encourage you to stay for it because they share real credits as the song plays. It's kind of like that kind of like big kind of like important fight for your rights, but also makes you feel good song, or a lot like Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah, which was a surprise win this year. An amazing surprise win, by the way. I absolutely adore that song. My number 2 is No Time to Die from No Time to Die. I'm a massive Bond fan, but I've got to be honest, I'm not massive on the song. Doesn't mean I don't think it doesn't deserve to win. It doesn't mean I don't think it could win. But because that song came out, by the time the Oscars happened, it would have been 2 years since that song first came out, and I just don't think people really care about it anymore. However, it did just win the Hollywood Music Awards for Best Song from Motion Picture, so obviously I could be wrong, but at the same time, I think Charles Chicago 7 song won there. Not being funny, who gives a shit about that song? So I'm not going to take that too seriously. Best sound is Dune. Yeah, best sound's Dune. It's Dune, it's Dune, it's Dune. Is anybody disagreeing with me? I thought not. Let's move along. Best documentary feature. It's between The Rescue and Flea. I have The Rescue at number 1 because no animated films made it into best documentary full stop, let alone a 1, so it kind of makes me think that The Rescue probably has a better shot, as it's more kind of what the Academy are comfortable with. However, if people see Flea and love it as much as others do, I could absolutely see it winning. Summer of Soul's my number 3 because I know they always, the thing is a documentary, we make all these predictions, say how much people love all these films, and then they snub a load of random shit, so you don't know what the documentary branch is going to do, but just going off we know so far, people love Summer of Soul and are raving about it no end, so I'm going to hop on the train and say that it's going to get nominated. I think Best Animated Feature might be the easiest category to predict because, not being funny, we're all certain of these 4 films getting in. Flea, Encanto, Mitchell's and the Machines, and Luca. I think the only, and then number 5 is definitely between Belle, Raya and the Last Dragon. Boom, done. There's not much to be said about this category. It is really easy this year. It is so easy. I really hope that I don't end up just completely shooting myself in the foot and being completely wrong, and then only like 3 of these films get in, but no, I doubt it. And then I've done Best International Feature Film, but obviously these are all subject to change. But I think if all these films are submitted, then this will be the 5. Flea, Worst Person in the World, Titan, The Hand of God, and Parallel Mothers. But I'm not going to talk too much about this category, as we need to get all the international feature films submitted from all the other countries before we can actually know for sure like what's happening there. Oh God, these videos hammer back. Anyway, ladies and gents, that's it for my 2022 Oscar predictions November edition. Thank you so much for watching. Join me in a couple of weeks' time where I'll be giving you my Golden Globe predictions. It feels so weird to say that because we just thought it wasn't happening, so now it is happening. It's kind of weird to say that I'm doing that. I think obviously I've been away for a while, but only a few videos ago I was talking about how they're not happening, so oh well, how things change, eh? But I'm happy that they're back because we've got a lot of musicals this year, so it's going to be really fun talking about what will and won't make it in. And the Golden Globes, unless they've changed much, they kind of do some weird things. So I'm looking forward to talking about it. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, ladies and gents, so long for now.